Okay, so I wanted to talk about some of the aspects of a good walking stick for hiking, backpacking. I always like to carry a walking stick when I'm backpacking because I just like to. I feel like even if I'm not using it, sometimes I'll just carry it like this. I'll just sort of hold it like that, or I'll just sort of won't really use it much, but it gives you something where like you feel like you're more stable, where if you need to push it down and like catch yourself all of a sudden. I've used it lots of times where I've put some weight on it to catch myself, it makes you feel more stable when you're walking, especially when you cross water, streams and creeks. Then you definitely want one so you can put weight on it. It helps you it gives you like another leg, almost another foot, where you can like it helps stabilize you. So some of the ways, the things about a good one. First of all, you can see how tall this is. It's way up here. Okay. So you never want to have it below eye level in case you do fall. You're not, stabbing yourself in the eye. So you always want to be above eye level. I like to go way, way above eye level. That's probably about a foot, maybe a little more above my eye level. That's because if you're walking downhill and you're setting the stick in front of you downhill, it'll actually be even lower. You know what I mean? So even if you at level got it like above your eye level, like here or something, if you're going downhill, it could actually be lower. Then you could fall on it and stick yourself in the eye again. So I like to go way above eye level by about a foot. Like to use green wood. This was a sapling. I don't like to just kill perfectly good saplings if I don't have to, but I put it to use. And you don't just want to pick up a stick off the ground. That could be a little bit rotted. Even though it may seem strong, you put some weight on it, snaps. You get a nice green sapling. I think hardwood. I think this is hickory. I'm not entirely sure based on that bark. It looks kind of like a hickory bark though, So hickory is a hardwood. So perfectly green, healthy sapling, hardwood preferably. It'll have a little bit of flex. That's good because if you don't want it to be too brittle, because then if you put your weight on it, it might snap. You know what I mean? So nice green wood. You can sometimes find good sticks that are long dead and dry, but that's a little bit of a questionable, a little bit of a risk. It may seem hard, and then you put some weight on it and it snaps. So it's got some flex. You can almost predict if it was gonna snap. You know what I mean? It wouldn't just snap out of the blue. It would flex a bunch first, and it would probably make some creaking, some sort of a little bit of snappy noise, like it's starting to snap or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, green wood, hardwood. What you can do is carve a point on the top if you want, just to give you a spear if like you're in dangerous territory. If there's like lions or something, or grizzly bears, whatever, just something where you might feel like you need to defend yourself. Carve a point on the top and fire harden it if you wanted to. Personally, I don't do that because there's not much dangerous around here. So I actually like to carve kind of a knob, kind of smooth it out, just in case. So if I do accidentally hit it, I'm not like stabbing myself, So I like to give a nice round point. And on the other end, I actually like to have a little bit of an angle on the bottom, believe it or not. Instead of having it perfectly flat. Like this is when I sawed it. I used a hand saw to saw down the tree. and I kind of cut at a little bit of an angle, kind of a 45-degree angle. I do that because I feel like it'll catch the ground better, you know, like if you stick it into some dirt or even in some gravel, whatever, it'll sort of catch it better and hold it, because you don't want it to slip out like that. So if it's perfectly flat and you put it down on some ground and put your weight on it, it might slip more. So I feel like with this little bit of a point, you don't want it to be too much of a point where it might snap the point, or you know, you don't want it to break the point off, I guess. But I like to have a little bit of an angle, a little bit of a point, just because I feel like it catches the ground a lot better, you know. When you're putting your weight on it, you don't want it to slip out. You don't want to put your weight on it and then it goes, you know. So I feel like a little bit of a, I don't know, just a 45-degree angle or something. Or you could carve a little point on it if you wanted to. Also, obviously, you want the bark to be really smooth. You know, you don't want any little points. So you can just take your knife and just sort of, if there's any sharp spots, just kind of shave off whatever, shave off the points. And so when you're rubbing your hand on it, you're not like cutting yourself. And yeah. It's not rocket science, I guess, but this one here is so good, I'll take it out with me and bring it back in. You know what I'm saying? I'll actually take it with me. I'll take it home with me. I already have, and I brought it back because that's how much I like it. So sometimes it's not easy to find them, you know? You think, oh, just grab a stick, it'll be easy, but sometimes you have to look, because another thing, you don't want it to be too fat, you know? And you don't want it to be too skinny. If it's too fat, it might it'd be heavy, you know, and then, you know, if you have like a wide grip on it, it might be kind of inconvenient, kind of cumbersome, big fat heavy stick, you know. And obviously you don't want it too thin or it'll break. So this is like perfect. So and you want it straight, obviously. You don't want to have it, if it has a bend in it and you put some weight on it, it could snap right where that bend is, you know. So yeah, like I was saying, I mean, they're not that easy to find sometimes. You think it'd be easy, but sometimes you gotta, I've looked around, sometimes, you know, you have to look quite a bit to find a really decent one. So, I guess that's about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's another thing, when you're hiking and you're tired, you can lean on like this, you're like, oh my God, I'm carrying this 100-pound backpack. This is brutal. Up a hill. I'm dying here. And oh man. So yeah. And something else. Good reason to have a rounded tip is I got this rain tarp. Now sometimes what can happen when it rains, the rain will actually start to collect kind of right here in the middle. It'll start to weigh it down, you know. That can be dangerous. That could actually tear the tarp or the cord. You know, if it weighs it down enough, it could definitely break the tarp down. So what you can do, grab a stick and just sort of set yourself a little post to keep it up, so the rain runs off. And that's another good reason to have a nice rounded top, so that it doesn't cut the tarp, obviously, and a bit of a pointed bottom so it sticks in the ground better. And that actually happened the other day. It started pouring rain, right? And so like it was like a downpour, and it was starting to collect right here. Now I could just use my hand and make sure, you know, lift it up, but what if it rains in the night when I'm asleep, you know what I mean? So and then so I wanted to grab a stick, right? But you know, trying to grab a stick right quick when it's raining, you know. Fortunately, I had this walking stick. It was just right here. I could just grab it, you know what I mean? I didn't have to go look for a stick, didn't have to process one, didn't have to cut one, you know what I mean? just grabbed this walking stick. It's about the perfect height, really. Stuck it in there, and you're good to go. Now, something I found can happen is if some wind comes through and lifts the tarp up, it'll actually drop the post. So what I've done is, because I don't want that to happen in the night, or if I'm away from camp or something, you know, if it falls down, then it's going to start collecting water again. So what I've done is, again, the pointed bottom on the walking stick, I just sort of stabbed it in to the ground here so it'll hold it, right? So I just stuck it down in the ground, right? So that now, if the wind lifts the tarp up, it's not going to fall down. And so that's a pretty bomber. So a walking stick, you know, highly useful. Yeah, and you can stick that post almost anywhere under the tarp. I've put them on the corner before. You know, you can put it all wherever you want, basically. As long as it lifts the tarp at a good enough angle so the rain will run off. You know, so I could just set it there, you know what I mean, and that works until the wind lifts the tarp, and then and then it falls down, you know. So I just stuck it down in there a little bit, and there you go. Now it sits on its own. So a little technique there. So highly useful item, walking stick, is highly useful for multiple purposes. So give that a try, and if you have any other ideas about walking stick type action, then leave a comment, and have fun. Hope you enjoyed my video. Subscribe for more of my videos, obviously.